different schools, if you keep playing the way this ball club has played this year, I guess it's just been above and beyond anybody's expectations to have the season that you've had.
Well, everyone in Quincy and part of the states I know expect us to have the good year. It put extra pressure on us. You know, when you're preseason favorite, every time you go out, we've been out on the floor 30 times. Every time you go out, you're heavily favored. But I'm so proud of the kids because they have lived up to those preseason expectations, I think.
What do you know about Antioch? What can you tell me about that ball club, and what do you expect them to do against you?
Well, I think they're a tall team and they're a deliberate team. You know, their last two ball games have been like 44-42 and then 35-34 in the super sectional. And I think they're going to try to dictate the tempo to that style of game. And of course, our job, and the job of our youngsters that we're going to put out there, is going to try to make the ball go up and down a few more times than that. I think if the scores are in the 30s and 40s, I think we're playing into their hands. And if we can get the scores up in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, I think we'll be okay.
Now, you've pressed a lot this year, although in the super sectional game, a game that I did not see, but I understand you didn't press at all.
Well, this team is different than our 79 bunch. We're in the same position coming into the Assembly Hall 30-0, but our 79 team, the Blue Devils, were very small, and we were forced to press and fast break the whole ball game. We have some height this year. We have pretty good height this year and still have some quickness, so these youngsters can press or not press as the situation dictates. And so some games we haven't pressed at all, and some games we pressed the whole ball game. I think we'll come out pressing today.
Let's talk about your ball club individually, and I guess if you are going to press, the guy up on the point of that press will be the big 6'10" kid who was announced for Iowa, everybody's all-stater, Mr. Payne. What a player he is.
Well, Michael Payne has been at the front of that press since he was 6'2", and then he grew to 6'5", and 6'7", 6'8", and now he's 6'9", 6'10 and a half, and he does a fine job on that press. He's very agile, and that's one of the things that Coach Olson of Iowa really likes about him, because all during his high school career, he's been part of a pressing defense, and he's had to guard much smaller, quicker kids, and he's learned to do that. He gives the good guards, even all-state guards, a bad time out there in the front of that press.
Now, what about your Douglas people? Well, they can really play up a storm. I've seen them play.
We have two fine young people. Bruce Douglas, who's an all-state guard at 6'3", and he's a junior. And then his little brother at 6'4", 225, gets ignored, we hope, again today, but gets ignored too often by other teams, and he's a fine player also.
Thank you, Jerry. Good luck to you. Appreciate it. Let's go back now to Frank Bissoni.
I think that, as everyone in Quincy says, if this isn't our year, I don't think it'll ever come. It's been a long time since 1934, and everyone has made room reservations through Saturday night.
Talk about the style of play of this team that you've watched all year. Talk about their defense and what they do offensively.
Well, their strength early in the year and carry over from the great 1979 team that was a runner-up was the 1-2-2 zone press. But in late season games, they haven't had to use that much. I think they're kind of keeping that in reserve, and it's still been awesome.
Excuse me. Go ahead.
Chuck, what will happen when Antioch holds that ball just the way Wheaton Central did on Effingham?
Dick, our secret so far has been getting off like 8-1 the first 2 minutes or so, and our fears have never materialized. Jerry has expected that to happen, and so far it hasn't. But I think they're aggressive enough defensively that they're going to make things happen. They're not going to stand around and watch.
Chuck, if any kind of team can give Quincy trouble, what type of team is it? What style of team gives Quincy problem?
Well, we thought it would be Lincoln, and they did. I mean, the fact that we beat Lincoln by 6 and led them by 8 with 3 seconds to go, I mean, that doesn't mean that they weren't troublesome. A good press has concerned me because we don't have the classic point guard that's been a Quincy trademark through the years. We have big, heavy-set Dennis Douglas bringing the ball up the floor, and so far we haven't really been hurt by a press. And you always got Mike Payne you can bring up to help out on the lobs.
Indeed. One final comment's got to be about that hotbed of basketball called Quincy, Illinois. It's something else over there.
I'd say we have 3,000 people here today and more tomorrow if we manage to survive, and I think that we can relate that to last week in Liberty, 17 miles from Quincy, and Quincy was all for them, and Liberty gave Quincy a big send-off as we passed through there yesterday.
Chuck Brady, thank you very much. That's the sports editor of the Quincy Herald-Whig, and we'll be back at the Assembly Hall for Game 2 this afternoon. Quincy, Antioch coming up, but right now one of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance.
Bowling. Number 21, Gordon Nationbenny. Number 31, Guy Abderholden. Number 32, Mike Gofron. Number 33, Marshall Olson. Number 43, Bob Gaddy. Number 53, Dennis Cardiff. And now let's meet the starting lineup for the Sequoias of Antioch. At forward, a senior, 6'6", number 35, Dee Maras.
Averages 18.5 points and 10 rebounds a game.
At forward, a senior, 5'11", number 25, Tim Kesser.
Averaging 7 points and shoots 34% from the field on the season.
At center, a senior, 6'8", number 45, John Plus.
The tallest player at Antioch since 1965 at 6'8".
At guard, a senior, 6'1", number 23, Pete Weber.
Pete Weber, Dad Bob played in 1952 and 3.
And the other guard, a senior, 6 feet tall, number 15, Dean Haviland.
His dad, Mike, played in 1952 through 4, and he's the quarterback of the team at guard. That's Antioch Sequoias. Their starting 5 has played together for the last 4 years.
And now let's meet the Blue Devils of Quincy High School with a perfect mark of 30 wins, no losses. The head coach for the Blue Devils with a career mark of 270 victories, only 79 losses, Jerry Leggett. Number 3, Joel Myers. Number 4, Mark Kaufman. Number 5, Mark Foley. Number 10, Mark Sparrow. Number 14, Dave Sandercock. Number 34, John Lepper. Number 44, Tim Hauseman. Now let's meet the starting lineup for the Blue Devils of Quincy High School. At forward, a senior, 6'3", number 32, Richie Hawkins.
Hawkins averages 10.5 points a game on the season.
At forward, a sophomore, 6'4", number 50, Dennis Douglas.
Big and strong, averaging 11.7 points a game.
Starting at center, a senior, 6'10", number 42, Michael Payne.
Michael Payne, that's 6'10". His dad is an All-Stater in 54.
At guard for the Blue Devils, a junior, 6'3", number 24, Bruce Douglas.
With 26 points in the super sectional, averaging 19.5.
And the other guard, a senior, 6'1", number 30, Scott Allen.
The point guard averaging 3.7, and those are the Quincy Blue Devils. The officials for the second game of this quarterfinal match, Don Hakes from South Holland, and of course George Lux out of Chicago. DeKalb Ag Research and the more than 700 DeKalb dealers here in Illinois are pleased to be able to co-sponsor these IHSA telecasts. DeKalb invites you to join us again tonight and for the finals of the AA tomorrow. Well, gentlemen, this should be something special. The Cardinal and Gray Antioch Sequoias going against the Mountain Quincy's Blue Devils, 30-0 and the favorite.
Well, we're going to take a look at a couple All-Staters, and one of them just named to the All-American team in Parade Magazine, Michael Payne. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while.
And rightly so. If Daytona is speed and this Las Vegas is dice, then March in Illinois has got to be basketball. The fans are ready. 15,000 strong in the Assembly Hall. The tip-off, game 2, Quincy and White running. Already Quincy Hawkins inside. And that's how Quincy starts. Richie Hawkins dumped it in. Here's Quincy's press with Mike Payne at 6'10 and a half, keying it. A steal by Bruce Douglas. Douglas lob to the goal to his brother Dennis Douglas, out of bounds for the Blue Devils.
Well, that's the way to keep from having the ball control bother you. There's a nice lob. Douglas a little too far underneath, or Payne was. Tried to keep it alive. There we go.
Step in and up and in by Bruce Douglas, 24. Douglas knocked it in and he's fouled. Quincy overwhelms you when they can.
They're coming out smoking, aren't they, Frank?
Foul is on Dee Maras, number 35. And Quincy has a 4-0 lead before he can draw a breath. Bruce Douglas averages 19.5 and missed that, but Michael Payne tips the rebound, plays volleyball in the lane, his shot is missed. And Antioch will try again. Antioch in red.
Big man up on the ball here. Really tough for little guards to throw through that.
And he's really active for 6'10 and a half. He says he's going to Iowa. Here's a steal by Quincy backcourt. Dennis Douglas, the big guy. He's only 15 years old. Here's a pass tipped out of bounds by John Ploss, the 6'8 center for Antioch. And Jerry Leggett calls out number 2, sits on the Assembly Hall floor, and we can't get to the Antioch end yet.
Yeah, we've had 4 possessions. They've all been at this end of the court.
He in the corner. Douglas stop and pop. Payne a rebound. 6-0 Quincy. Antioch in the backcourt with Weber and Havlin. Clear out pass on the right. Pete Weber in some heavy traffic. He needs help. He lobs to the goal. Ploss for a dunk.
An auspicious beginning, a dunk.
Ploss dunked it. It's 6-2 Quincy.
Defensively, Antioch will be in a matchup, a 2-3 zone. They'll match up the perimeter.
All right. Quincy on the right wing with the ball. They set a post down low with Payne, and Dennis Douglas roams through the middle. Bruce Douglas to Payne.
The alley-oop.
8-2. Quincy is burning.
Here's the lob coming down the backside. It's a la Stick Sampson. Nice, perfectly executed pass by Payne.
Amazing. Antioch with the basketball, front court. In traffic, nearly a foul, clear away. Pass on the right side. Antioch controls. Outside to Pete Weber. Weber lobs inside to Ploss. He's got some size. His shot is long. Payne kicks it out. Running is Douglas. Here come the Blue Devils. Bruce Douglas!
Nice pass off there by younger brother Dennis. It gave it to Bruce. He lunged it up for 2.
This building is equal in height to a 12-story building, and it's roaring. Bruce Douglas to Payne, out of bounds, Antioch.
Well, we've heard that Bruce Douglas is a great scorer. Well, he's a complete player. They compare him to Quinn Buckner. There's a nice job of passing. He's had 3 assists already.
There's timeout on the court. Quincy leads Antioch 10-2. And one of your network sponsors is DeKalb Ag Research.
You can depend on Myrtle for an egg every day.
And Vigor from XL 55A.
You can depend on Grandma for the best cherry pie.
And XL 55A to be dry. You can depend on Clara for a calf every May. And big yields with XL 55A.
You get Yield Plus from DeKalb.
What can we say? We're proud of you all the way. You Blue Devils have made Quincy look great. In Quincy, in Decatur, in Normal, and in Champaign. These Blue Devil boosters are regional, sectional, super sectional, and state proud of you. Damon Hurdle Jewelers, Tappy's Sporting Goods, Riley Drugstore, Frank's Pontiac, Core World, Hollander Tire Company. Hey Blue Devils, you're super sensational. You're state sensational. You're the greatest. Quincy's proud of you.
Quincy, of course, is of the Western Big Six Conference, and so is Moline, and their head coach, Whitey Verstraete, when asked how good is Quincy, he said they should be playing in the Division III college tournament this weekend. So far, they've been awesome. Antioch with the basketball. We've just started the first quarter. There's 5:50 to go in it. Quincy leads by 8. Antioch clears it to John Ploss in the backcourt. Here's a lob to the goal intended for Maras. It goes out of bounds to Quincy. The 4th turnover on Antioch. You know, Antioch does have good size. If they can get the ball down there and set up, they might do some good.
Yeah, I think they're a little nervous. They've read all those same things that you and I have and all the fans have, and they're playing a little bit odd.
Antioch playing a zone, essentially a 2-3. Bruce Douglas lobs to Payne. 6 points for Payne. They're downhill. 12-2 Blue Devils. They've come out smoking at the Assembly Hall. They're 30-0. They've only been given a game a couple of times. Outside right, Weber's shot is not good, and Douglas climbs for the board. He kicks it out on the right to Scott Allen, stopping a runner that's blocked away and out of bounds. Antioch. Scott Allen's shot was a little long, and Antioch controls in the backcourt as you look at the Quincy bench. Here's a steal by Quincy. Scott Allen, backcourt. He turns to the right, gives to Hawkins for a shot that's good. Richie Hawkins hit it. 14-2 Quincy. Will be a foul, and the goal counts. Foul is on Michael Payne of Quincy. He goes at 6'10 and a half, 195. His first foul. Quincy applies the pressure. Zone trap, full court. Here's a pass that Havlin tracks down to Kessler. In the backcourt, and now a foul called on Dennis Douglas, the younger brother of Bruce Douglas, number 50. Dennis Douglas weighs 225, and he's only 15 years old. Imagine that.
He moves well, too. He's heavy, but he gets around on the court.
And he's got some quickness when he does things. Weber lobs in on the right, stolen by Douglas. Here comes his brother Dennis to the goal, thundering in, and he's fouled. Foul is on Pete Weber.
Here we take another look at it. Quick recovery and throw out in the break. Brings it down, getting ready to lay it up there and reach in, and a foul.
At the foul line, Dennis Douglas shoots the same as he does from the field, 61%. Here's his right-hander. He missed it, and Quincy has had 6 points out of Payne in the early going and 4 of Bruce Douglas and Richie Hawkins. Here's Dennis Douglas' shot. Missed them both, but Payne rebounds, whips it underneath, and Scott Allen tracks it down. Inside, Dennis Douglas. Richie Hawkins rebounds. Quincy owning the boards right now. And Bruce Douglas, the point guard, now going out there at 6'3". He's a first-team All-Stater by UPI. Inside Dennis Douglas, move and turn. He shot it off the board, and it counts. And a foul.
That's the strength factor. People were laying all over him and gave a good shot, and he stayed with the shot, got it down. We'll take a look at it. He's 215, remember. Gets pass up off the and draws the contact, stays with the shot, and he's going for the three-point play.
He didn't get it. The ball is loose. Quincy rebounds, and they're fouled again. Scott Allen came up with a loose ball under the Quincy goal. And the foul is on Antioch once again. Foul is on 35, Dee Maras. And you know, it's not just Antioch that's having trouble with Quincy. Very few teams have been able to play them all year.
Yes, that's right. A 27-point advantage over their opponents on the season. It's only been 5 teams have been able to stay under 10 points on them.
Scott Allen shoots it in. It's 17-2. Quincy averages 78, their opponents 51. The senior missed this one. The ball is loose, and Antioch has it. They're going to run. Weber's going to the goal. Foul is on Weber, charging. As Quincy got position and the ball.
Sure did. That was Dennis Douglas. We'll see that in the replay. Dennis Douglas got down the court, established. Here he comes, number 50, into position. Got his feet down, spread out. Didn't even hardly budge. The shot was blocked after, but the foul takes precedence.
He could wear a license plate.
The score is 17 to stuff right now.
You got it. On the right, Richie Hawkins looking down low. Dennis Douglas on one side, Payne on the other. Richie Hawkins exchanges with Bruce Douglas. There's a nice defensive play by Antioch, carrying the ball loose, but Allen retrieves it. Bruce Douglas with a runner.
Nice looking jump shot.
19-2, that's 6 for Bruce Douglas. who averages nearly 20. Antioch in the backcourt. They clear up in front, nearly over and back. And there's Pete Weber having the ball poked away by Quincy. Here it is, 5-on-2. Kick on the right, Payne. Payne took off from 10 feet from the goal, and he was fouled.
He's quite a passer. Payne is able to give that ball off when he doesn't like what he sees when the shot situation. He's not just a big man that's looking for the... Here we are in that replay. Into Payne. He's prepared to dump it off here as he steps up there. I think he's going to stuff it from there, but the Antioch player stepped in front of him and drew the foul.
33, Marshall Olson is checking into the Antioch lineup. Olson is a 5'11 senior. They've got him listed at only 16 years old, very young for a senior. Free throw by Mike Payne is no good. He shoots them at 70% on the season. Quincy has an amazing 19-2 advantage. Payne got that one. And Antioch has the basketball. Now Quincy stays in their press with Payne at the point. And he's got his hand on that one. Antioch clears it up. Kloss is fouled. Way in the backcourt by Bruce Douglas.
They're so quick. They just swarm you.
Well, Frank and Dick, many people have compared this ball club to, do you know who? The Quinn Buckners. Bruce Douglas looks a little bit like Quinn Buckner and the Thornridge teams of the early 70s. What do you think, Dick? Be in that class?
I think they definitely are. So far, what we've seen, we'd say that.
They made 2 out of 8 free throws, and they got an 18-point lead. Here's another steal. And here comes Bruce Douglas. Good night.
He's got that body control. He hangs in the air and until he can lay that thing on the glass. He's going to be a player in somebody's major college program.
Well, he's going to play another year at Quincy first, and he's got 8 points already. Weber outside on the right to Dee Maras, 35. Now Weber eyes it up and shoots. It's too long, and the rebound is a Scott Allen. Quincy with 2:40 to go in the first period.
Here comes
the lob. High bulging.
The lob again.
And they just throw it up to the... This is a kind of... Michael Payne kind of dances on their heads. They just lob the ball to the rafters, and there it is.
Yeah, here we'll see him coming down that right side of the court, and he's looking. He knows where Payne is, and there's the lob to that back side. He goes up and gets fouled.
And Dee Maras, a really good player, has 3 personals. He has 18.5 points a game and 10 rebounds a game, and that's a lot of business he gets done. Mike Payne has 8 points in the game.
Quincy is a 64% free throw shooting team, which is average.
It's 24-2. The Blue Devils with 2:36 to go in the first quarter. And John Kloss, the 6'8 center, comes back to help Antioch. Remember, Antioch is a fine basketball team at 23-5, and they won over a tough Palatine team in the super sectional. Here comes Maras inside. Nice bank shot off the board. Dee Maras. That's his first 2. Now Quincy looks at the Antioch zone defense with Douglas on the point, Allen on a wing right. They post up Mike Douglas down low. Or Mike Payne, I should say, and a foul, push-off foul on Dennis Douglas. Now checking into the Quincy lineup off their bench.
That's a second foul for Dennis.
Number 44, Tim Hauseman. Hauseman is H-U-S-E-M-A-N. He's 6'6 and a half, 180, 16-pound junior. And they have another young man, 6'6 and a half, on their bench. So Quincy has unreal size, not to mention ability. Havlin in the backcourt has the ball taken away by Mike Payne, and he shoots an 18-footer that doesn't go. But look at Hauseman turning the rebound, lost it out of bounds. 2 turnovers on Quincy, but 10 already against Antioch. Quincy's very difficult to play against. They swarm all over you defensively. Don't forget tonight, we have 2 fine matchups in this evening's game as a blocking foul is called on the Blue Devils' Richie Hawkins. This evening at 7, New Trier East against Westinghouse, the Cinderella team out of Chicago. Then at 8:30, Proviso East against Moline. Dee Maras goes to the foul line, a 57% free throw shooter on the season. Good size for Maras. And he hits. 24-5, Quincy. Quincy's reputation is lived up to in the first quarter here at the Assembly Hall. Here's the next one. Too long. But Pete Weber tracked the rebound to Ploss off the board. Ploss has 4 and Antioch has 7. Quincy with 24 on the ball. Look at Hauseman coming up as a point guard at 6'6 and a half, a junior. They got 6'6 and a half, 6'4, 6'10 and a half, 6'1, and 6'3 in the game now. The Blue Devils looking at Antioch Sequoia zone inside Bruce Douglas. Turnaround blocked by Ploss. Nice play by Big John. And with a minute to go, Antioch tries to score. There's a whistle, traveling violation called in the backcourt on Haviland.
With this change to the new point man, that's moved Bruce Douglas down on the baseline, and they say that's where he's really effective offensively, posting people up, shooting turnaround jumpers. Of course, he's awfully strong and quick also.
Tim Kessler, 25, back in for Antioch as Hauseman comes up on the right. Hauseman slides left to Hawkins. Downstairs, look at that interior pass from Payne to Bruce Douglas for 2. That's 10 points by Bruce Douglas, and give Mike Payne a good assist on the bounce pass. Haviland clears to the right. He goes into the paint. Downstairs to Ploss, who's got it in off the board. Ploss has 6. 26-9 Quincy, and the Blue Devils have it with 25 seconds to go in the opening quarter. What a team. But they're not the only fine basketball team here at the Assembly Hall. 14 seconds to go, first quarter. Quincy going for one shot. Payne goes inside to Bruce Douglas, fakes and gives it to Allen, stolen by Antioch with 4. Stolen back by Quincy with 2. Richie Hawkins throws it off the board, and that's the end of the first quarter of play. The score, Quincy 26, Antioch 9, and we'll continue our coverage of the Class AA quarterfinals in a minute.
The Spirit's alive for all to see. The spirit of the country.
The spirit of the country. It's being there when you need it and lending a helping hand. That's the spirit you live by. And at Country Companies Insurance, it's the spirit we do business by.
The Spirit's alive for all to see. The spirit of the Country Companies.
Your attic, does it conserve energy or waste it while letting the cost of heating and cooling go literally through the roof? The problem's easy to find. Inadequate insulation. So is the solution. Pure White Insul-Safe 2. The non-combustible blown-in fiberglass insulation from one of America's great names in energy conservation. Certainteed. Save energy. Save money. Get tax credit too. Insulate your attic now.
Call Highbredder Peters, 215 Oak, Quincy.
We're happy to have you watching our telecast of the boys Class AA state finals. We appreciate the many fine comments that we've had in the past from so many around the state. If you have comments or suggestions, we'd be glad to hear from you. Just write basketball, box 577, Bloomington, Illinois, 61701.
Second quarter underway, and the Blue Devils have the tip and a lead at 26-9. Bruce Douglas lobs inside, nicely stolen by Dee Maras of Antioch. And the Sequoias come back with the ball.
Here's the unique thing about Quincy. They press after a miss. They jump right into that three-quarter court press. Most teams only press after a score.
Here's a whistle on the play, and Richie Hawkins picks up a foul for the Blue Devils. You know, gentlemen, Antioch may be a lot more relaxed in this second quarter. Obviously, coming out against Quincy in that press, it's imposing. And look at the stats.
Yes,
61%.
Yes, 18 shots they were able to get off, and only 7 in Antioch. There's 9 turnovers that Quincy's had 3. Yes, and Antioch's had 10. Well, that's been the big difference in the shot difference.
Dean Haviland at the free throw line, shoots 67% from there. Got it. 26-10, Quincy. And Haviland has another. Right-hander. Perfect. 26-11. Second quarter at the Assembly Hall. The boys AA finals. Now in the backcourt, Bruce Douglas this time goes to the point, and Hauseman goes to the left wing. Allen looking inside. Outside Hauseman shot, rolling no good, and a good solid rebound by Antioch. Maybe they'll have a little less trouble with the press this quarter. Let's see. Pete Weber's in the backcourt. He lobs way down low to Maras. Steps in the lane. Puts it up. Not good, but Kloss tips it in. Nicely done. John Kloss has 8. And Antioch starts back. 26-13.
That twin towers of Maras and Kloss are very effective. You can see how they got here. Both of them are very strong, very agile in around that hoop.
Bruce Douglas looking down the lane. Gives to Allen on the right. His shot is in. Scott Allen hits on the right wing. It's 28-13. Quincy by 15. 6:46 to go in the first half. Antioch hits 3 or 4 shots in a row in this thing. They'll get some confidence and get percolating. Haviland on the right to Maras. He's going to eye one up. Didn't get it. Payne rebounds. Out ahead they come. 4 on 3. Here goes Douglas swirling around a man on the right. His shot is not good, and a good rebound by Dee Maras. He's starting to go to work on the board. Weber dribbled it out of bounds. Hawked by Bruce Douglas. That's the 12th turnover on Antioch. The Blue Devils have only 4. Tim Hauseman, the junior with the left-hand dribble. Quincy in the white, Antioch in the red. Payne steps to the baseline, and a foul is called on Payne. And Jerry Leggett sits down and has a word. 6:16 to go. Antioch tries to cut it down to 13. Now you can see how Quincy averages nearly 80 points a game. Antioch in heavy traffic. They clear it on the right to Haviland. See if they can get the ball down inside. Here's a shot out of the left side. Not good by Tim Kesser. And here comes Quincy. A wraparound pass. Goes out of bounds. Last touch by Antioch. Now Douglas goes out of bounds to get the ball.
Richie Hawkins replaced Michael Payne there. Payne getting a second foul.
And down low the ball comes to Bruce Douglas. His shot is not good. Maras has another rebound. Weber's got 2 men to beat. He got by one and shoots over the other, but Maras on the other end rebounds and scores. Nice effort by Dee Maras. He rebounded on one end and scored on the other. And now Jerry Leggett wants a timeout. 5:40 to go. Quincy by 13, and one of your network sponsors is DeKalb Ag Research.
Acres of gold keeping America going.
Hey, Mom, when do we leave?
Acres of gold keeping the trade winds blowing.
Go on. Thanks, Grandpa.
Acres of gold keeps the economy growing.
I'm gonna sit by you, Grandma. Oh!
It's a great feeling knowing we've got acres of gold.
DeKalb, as much a part of American farm life as having supper with the family.
It's a great feeling knowing we've got acres of gold.
The Quincy Blue Devils have won 88 of their last 92 basketball games, and you can see why.
Oh, definitely so. Now, there's a little bit of a flurry there. They were outscored 6-2 during that last couple minutes.
Those are the Quincy cheerleaders doing such a fine job for this big crowd in the Assembly Hall. 15,887 for the state tournament is seating capacity. On the right, the shot is around and out, but tipped home by Bruce Douglas. 30-15.
You think he's a prospect, huh?
That was some kind of a tip there.
He's 16 years old. I think he might be able to play somewhere. Oh, he's got a dozen points. Brilliant looking basketball player. Pete Weber on the right goes down to Tesser. Kessler is in the right-hand corner. Maras posted up on one side. Clausen's got a breather right now. Here's a steal and a kick-out pass for the running Allen for a layup. Scott Allen beat everybody down the court, and Quincy has a 17-point lead.
Douglas caught that ball in midair and hung there and then threw it out in the outlet for the assist.
Quincy got Lepper in at the pivot and replacing Payne, and they're not pressing right now.
Coach Leggett is a veteran, and he says that Bruce Douglas, the best player, most talented player he's ever had.
Here's a shot way outside by Antioch, and no good, as the shot was by Marshall Olsen. Quincy comes storming back the other way, and Bruce Douglas flips it over Allen's head. 6 turnovers on the Blue Devils. Antioch has twice that many. Now John Kloss, 45, back in the ballgame for Antioch, replacing Bob Gaddy, 43. Gaddy, a 6'2 junior.
Also for Antioch, number 15.
Frank, this ball club has just been devastating with the press, as you've seen. Yet in the super sectional game, they tell me that they didn't press 1 second of that game. They fell back the entire time, and yet they won it 72-44.
They're a very versatile basketball team, to say the least. 4:27 to go in the first half, as Maras on the right to Kessler. It's a Quincy zone, and Kessler shoots over it. Too long. Rebound is off a Quincy hand, but picked up over there by John Lepper. Now the Blue Devils hurry up the court. Bruce Douglas. Douglas is 24. His brother Dennis is out of the game now. His number 3 is Joel Myers, a 5'11 senior with it. The ball goes inside, intended in there for Lepper, picked off by Antioch. And they have it with under 4 minutes now in the first half. Antioch sets a 6'8 John Kloss at the high post. Kessler's on the right side. And here's the lob inside to Kloss. He tried to tip at it, and Hawkins has it for Quincy. Here comes the hurry-up Blue Devils. A runner by Bruce Douglas. And a whistle out of bounds to Antioch. Country Companies Insurance, and it's nearly 1,000 agents here in Illinois. Happy to be a part of this telecast. We hope you're enjoying the action from Assembly Hall.
With Bruce Douglas going down hard there, I took a look down at the other end at Coach Leggett, and he winced. It's it's one of those things you have to get this ball game over, get into that semifinals, without getting somebody hurt probably.
Here's a shot outside, no, and the rebound comes inside to Kessler, who lays it in. Tim Kessler made it as Haviland's shot missed his first 2. It's 32-17 Blue Devils. And Antioch falls back into their zone. Joel Meyer rolls to the right. Hawkins down to Bruce Douglas. He changed hands and he's fouled. He was on the right side, but he was changed to his left hand and he was picked up.
This is an awfully good passing Quincy ball club. There it is down there on the baseline. The switch over to the middle to the left. And Kloss got him good and hard across on that left hand. Excellent.
Second on Kloss.
Excellent passing team. I'm impressed, all 5 of them, including Payne.
Bruce Douglas puts it home. He has 13 in the first half. He had 26 points in the super sectional game.
The starters only averaged 2.5 quarters a game during this year with all the blowouts they've had, Frank.
That's understandable. 34-17 so far in this one, and Antioch has the basketball. Antioch from the Northwest Suburban Conference. Kessler and Pete Weber exchange out front. Quincy's in his zone, not pressing at the moment. Kloss sets up low on the left. Kessler fakes a shot, covered up there for a moment. Pete Weber stopped and shoots it too long, and it goes out of bounds. Now saved inbounds to Quincy running. 3 on 2. Joel Myers beat the pack.
Another assist for Bruce Douglas. Boy, he spots him.
36-19 as you see the sea of blue. All from Adams County. Quincy. 2:22 to go in the first half. Dean Haviland, Quincy putting on some exhibition of basketball prowess here. Outside right, Haviland shot rattles out. Kloss gets a good rebound and shoots it off the board. And you talk about prospects, he's one too.
Yes, Kloss is still hammering around in there. He hasn't given up, that's for certain.
36-19, 2-minute mark. Quincy shows a fist. And a set play left. That's Hauseman. Richie Hawkins from the left wing. He has 6 and Quincy has 38. Antioch has the ball. 1:45 to go. You see Quincy's lead. Kesser's in the left corner. They sink back on Maras. Michael Payne is sitting out for Quincy. So is Dennis Douglas. A lot of this second quarter. Here's Kesser on the right side, shooting, not good. Quincy rebounds and runs. Two men collided and fell down on the other end to the goal. So the shot is not good by Hauseman. And let's see what the whistle's all about. Foul is on Dean Haviland, I believe. Let's take a look at the break here, Dick.
There's that pass underneath the defense. Husband to bringing it up, switch it over that right hand. He was fouled going up for the shot.
Bruce Douglas comes out for the first half. And Quincy is getting in a couple of substitutions. Mark Kaufman, number 4, a 6-foot junior comes in. And also into the ball game, let's see if we can pick up the other substitute. There's Richie Hawkins just checking out. It's John Lepper, 34. Mark Kaufman is 4. Joel Myers is 3. Free throw is up and good by Tim Hauseman. And he's only a junior. He'll be back another year.
It's very important to do the substituting and pace the players. They've got 3 ball games in a short period of time if they're going for the title.
40-19 Quincy. A minute 25 to go, opening half. It'll be interesting to see what the second half brings, see what style Quincy plays. They've got an almost altogether different lineup in now than their starters they do, with Joel Meyer on the point, Lepper and Hauseman down low with Scott Allen and Mark Kaufman. There's a lob to the goal. Maras nearly dunked it. Ploss rebounds and scores. Nice play. Boy, Maras nearly stuffed that thing. 40-21.
Yeah, he grabbed hold of the ring, but no call. Coach Liggett's up trying to explain that to the officials.
And the officials are Don Hakes and George Lux for this game. You look at the clock going down to 45 seconds in the first half. Quincy with the ball, holding it now at the high post is Hauseman. Down low on one side is Lepper. Out front is Scott Allen, and he goes along there with Joel Myers. They exchange. Clock down to 27 seconds. Quincy, a 19-point lead, looking for one closing shot here in the second quarterfinal. In case you joined us late, Wheaton Central won the first game over Effingham, 38-33. Now 12, 11, 10. Pass down low. Shot is up and blocked by Ploss, but a foul, I think. John Lepper took the shot with 9 seconds to go.
Frank, I was just looking at some of these scores. Closest anybody came to Quincy throughout the year was a one-pointer. They beat Chicago Phillips 76-75 in an overtime in the finals of the Quincy Thanksgiving tournament. Kankakee Eastridge played them a 4-point game, 67-63. And Munich Providence, Class A team, played them a 5-point ball game at the Pontiac Holiday Tournament. Boy, you look at the rest of the scores, though, in big margins.
Shooting another foul shot here is John Lepper, and he hits. 42-21 with 9 seconds. Antioch has time to get a shot off. Let's see who takes it. Pete Weber hurries it up in the front court. We're down to 5, 4. Here comes Haviland on the right. He slings it up. It's too high off the board. So the ball is on the floor. And there's the end of the first half of play in the second quarterfinal game. The score is Quincy 42, Antioch 21. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance. Okay, we're all set to start the second half here. The tallest player at Antioch since '65, when they had a guy named Vic Rogers at 6'8", is John Ploss. He's at 6'8", and he goes into the middle. And he's going up there against 6'10.5" Michael Payne of Quincy. 42-21 is Quincy's lead. They start with the ball on the fly. Dennis Douglas has it tipped out of his hands nicely by the Sequoias. Back on defense. Starting lineup back in for both teams as Bruce Douglas flips it inbounds. Michael Payne eyes it up, then goes downstairs. Dennis Douglas. Turnaround that didn't go, but look at Bruce Douglas, and he's called for a foul as he goes charging to the offensive board. Bruce Douglas picks up his second personal. Well, he's got a lot of tools, Bruce Douglas, Dick. He's got good size. He's quick. He's active. He can shoot. He doesn't have a weakness. Okay, Antioch has the basketball. 7:48 to go in the third quarter.
Quincy came out with a press and really worked in that first half, built up a big lead. Antioch tried to fight back, and they've got themselves a big, long way to come back. Here's a shot outside, and it's tipped by Payne up ahead to Bruce Douglas, and Quincy runs. The Blue Devils in the front court. He goes down into the lane to his brother Dennis, and he laid it in, but it won't count. I think we've got another foul on Bruce Douglas. Bruce Douglas picked up his second foul in just a few seconds, his third, and you can take a look at this. Here comes Bruce Douglas hurrying into the paint, and he leaves his feet, and a good defensive play there by Pete Weber taking the charge. You saw Dennis Douglas go on to score, but that didn't count, and Antioch has a chance to get the first points here in the second half. Antioch has the ball to Dee Maras on the right. And now Haviland eyes it up. Oh, he made a nice fake. Well, he did. I thought he held his foot. The referee didn't agree with me. And now Quincy has the ball. There's Jerry Leggett with a familiar blue towel draped over his shoulder, calling out some offensive play, perhaps. 44, Tim Hauseman is on the left. He gives the ball over to Dennis Douglas. Step in down the lane is rolling in by Tim Hauseman. Now, Hauseman replaced Bruce Douglas because of that early foul trouble, and Hauseman scores the first two of the second half. John Ploss at a high post. Pete Weber clears over on the left. Antioch in red with the ball. Ploss goes downstairs to low and sets the post. He wants the ball down there. They don't see him yet. Coming out is Maras. He gets on the other side. They've overloaded one side with the ball. Kesser's in the corner. Quincy's got his zone working as Haviland looks it over. Here's a shot in the lane that's not good by Antioch. Clearing out and running is Dennis Douglas. Dennis comes up to the right. He stops along the baseline. Now he goes into the middle of Payne for a slingshot that doesn't go. And Antioch's going to run the other way. Pete Weber slows it up between the rings. He slides to the left. Weber on the right corner now. Scott Allen. Or check it. It's Bruce Douglas. His replacement. Hauseman comes to the high post. Ploss down low. Turning around. It rolls in nicely. John Ploss rolled it in. And it's 44-23. Ploss has 14 points. He's even with Bruce Douglas to be the leading scorer in the game. Down low, intended for Payne, picked up by Richie Hawkins. His shot doesn't go, and Dee Maras has the rebound for the Sequoias. They're named after a famous Indian chief, Sequoia. At least that's one version, for which Sequoia Creek, going through Antioch, was named. Sequoia means an Indian winding creek. Here's Dee Maras, left side. His shot does not go, and Dennis Douglas slaps the ball up ahead. Here comes Allen on the run. He glides into the lane. The shot is not good. Quincy rebounds again, and it rolls off. Here's Dennis Douglas and Payne slamming away, and here is a foul on Michael Payne of Quincy. There's a look at that as Mike Payne and Dennis Douglas go to the boards. Payne got called for the foul. All right, on the left, it's Antioch with it. Pete Weber goes for the Dean Haviland. Antioch in red. 5 minutes now to go in the third quarter. Quincy 44, Antioch 23. Nice pass into the lane to Weber. His shot doesn't go. He got it back. He steps in, puts it up. It didn't go. And Antioch had some tough luck trying to get one to go down, but they did get a personal foul call. And that foul is on Richie Hawkins, 32. There's a look over at the Quincy bench where Michael Payne is over there now. And here's Pete Weber, shoots 73% at the foul line. It's up and in. Weber averages over 11 points a game on the season. He's got Antioch back to within 20 points. This could be 19. He got it down. And Weber makes a pair. That's his first two of the game. Now Quincy comes up, and Antioch is set up in what essentially is a 2-3 zone. There's a lob to Richie Hawkins. He's got a foul line jump shot that's short. He steps into the lane, but there's a whistle first. It's a violation on Antioch. The ball was in the cylinder.
Basket interference called against Antioch.
Now here's a look at the replay. And you'll see that somebody touched the net, I think it was. All right, Haviland lobs way downstairs to Maras, who steps in and scores. Nicely done, Dee Maras. That's 7 points for Maras. And Antioch has 27. Quincy with the basketball, leading by 19. The starters are in now at guard. But Dennis Douglas is only starter in the front court, and he throws one up and is fouled. I think that's John Ploss that picked up the personal. If it is, that's 4.
Dennis Douglas at the free throw line. 2 shots.
Dennis Douglas misses the foul shot. Now coming in for the Antioch Sequoias is number 43, Bob Gaddy, a 6'2" junior. And John Ploss goes out with 4 fouls. Now Gaddy is 6'2", Ploss is 6'8". So there's a loss on that exchange of some 6 inches in height. And you see there for Quincy, their 6'10.5" All-Stater Michael Payne in, and 34 John Lepper out. There's Dennis Douglas, a 225-pound sophomore. And Douglas brothers, great athletes in the family. Here's the shot, not good, and Dee Maras rebounds for Antioch. Now we're coming down to 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Antioch needs to hit about 4, 5, 6 shots in a row if they're going to get back in this thing. On the right side is Haviland. Swirling to the left, Maras. Trying to penetrate the Quincy zone. Quincy's got Payne. Here's a steal by Bruce Douglas. There he goes. Let's see what he does. He lays it up. He missed it, but he's fouled. And the foul is on Tim Kessler. Douglas is mad at himself because he's sure he could have got that one to go down. Let's see, here's the steal by Bruce Douglas. And Douglas goes all the way. There he's grabbed by Kessler. And Kessler, Jim, saved a couple of points. Okay, Bruce Douglas goes to the line. First team All-State UPI. Now here's the right-hand toss. Down. That is 15 by Bruce Douglas. Good-looking player. 64% foul shooter. He doesn't get that one. A 20-point deficit for Antioch, and they have the basketball in backcourt. Quincy content to sit in their zone, and they're getting some rest for some of their players, too, during this game. Antioch fell behind early and has not been able to mount a charge against Quincy. But no one else has all season with the exception of 2 or 3 games. Here's another steal by Bruce Douglas. Let's see if he scores. He dunks. Bruce Douglas with a dunk and a high five, and Quincy has a 17 for Bruce Douglas. Dee Maras goes into the lane and shoots too hard, and here comes Quincy out running. They pull up the lane on the left, and there goes Hauseman to the goal, and he is fouled. Tim Hauseman got loose going to the basket. And the Blue Devils head to the foul line again. What an impressive high school basketball team. This is one of the best high school teams that I've ever had the privilege of watching play. The cheerleaders. And Tim Hauseman at the line, a 6'6.5" junior. He's only 16 years old. Quincy by 23. Here's another. He knocked that in. 51-27. And now there's a timeout on the court. Quincy 51, Antioch 27. One of your network sponsors is DeKalb Ag Research.
You can depend on Otto when the family's away.
And on DeKalb XL 32A.
You can depend on this spot for some really big bass. And XL 32A to dry fast.
You can depend on this baby to start every day.
And big yields with DeKalb XL 32A.
You get yield plus from DeKalb.
It's the crisp and the crunch. A really fresh slice.
Discover Randall's different.
Mince it and shred it. Peel it and squeeze it. Dress it up, because it ends up best when it starts out fresh. It's simply what you get when you start with the best produce, and at Randall's, you get the best 24 hours a day.
Discover Randall's difference.
We have 2 minutes and 54 seconds to go in the third quarter of the second quarterfinal game. Wheaton Central won the first game this afternoon, eliminating Effingham. And right now, the Quincy Blue Devils, 30-0 on the year, are on their way to the semifinals also tomorrow.
Instant offense there, and Bruce Douglas comes back in. They move him around so many places, playing out in front of that zone. He's been responsible for about 2 or 3 interceptions, and of course he's out in the front of that break. He's going to take it all the way. Quite a versatile player.
All right, the Antioch Sequoias with the basketball. And into their lineup is 43 Bob Gaddy on the right side with it. Over to Pete Weber. Quincy working on his own. We haven't seen Quincy play man-to-man. There's a good shot outside by Pete Weber. He has 4. 51-29. Quincy comes down and sets up with Mike Payne on the low post left. Dennis Douglas into the lane now, posting up down there on the right. Here's a lob inside from Bruce to Dennis Douglas. It didn't go, but Mike Payne's tip-in does with 2:12 to go. Let's see, that's 11 for Michael Payne, who averages 17.3. And as we pointed out earlier, the starters play about 2.5 quarters on the average for this Blue Devil team. They're shooting toward playing now tomorrow against Wheaton Central. Boy, we've got some good games for you tonight, too, coming up at 7 o'clock. I hope you'll be with us. Here's a loose ball in the backcourt. Antioch tracks it down as Bob Gaddy gets it. There's Dee Maras. He steps in and barges his way clear. And a whistle and a foul called against Quincy's Richie Hawkins. That's the 4th foul on Hawkins. And Dee Maras goes to the foul line. Maras, so far in the game, has 7. Here's the right-hander. That's the 30th point for Antioch. Quincy only gives up 51 a game. And in now for the Blue Devils of Jerry Leggett is Scott Allen, coming in number 30, and Richie Hawkins goes out. Both are seniors. Maris has another. Mike Payne got up there in the stratosphere and rebounded. And Quincy the ball in white with a 23-point lead. Awful lot of scouts watching the action here, as well as a tremendous crowd of fans from all these schools. There's a ball tapped out of bounds and awarded to Quincy. Jerry Leggett wearing his familiar blue towel over the shoulder. All right, here's Bruce Douglas on the left wing to Leppert. Make that Houston. Now he goes on the right to Payne. Payne got outside and showed us a little shooting for 13 points.
At 6'10", with that kind of a touch and passing skills, he's probably a corner player in college.
Well, he's said that he'll go to Iowa, and I'm sure Lute Olson smiles about that. Here's the shot too long by Pete Weber, and Bruce Douglas spins into the front court. Douglas comes down and is held and fouled by Tim Kessler. His 3rd.
Defensive, he got around defensive man Tim Kessler, and he tries to reach in behind, and in the process he made contact with him. Don Hicks back here made the call. It's the 3rd foul on Kessler.
Roger Andrews, the coach of Antioch, assisted by Jeff Dresser. Here's a shot in the corner, not good by Bruce Douglas, and a strong rebound for Dee Maras. Remember, John Floss, the center of Antioch, is out of the game now with 4 fouls. Gaddy on the right. Weber and Kessler exchange outside, and Kessler lets it fly from 18 feet. Here comes the Quincy Blue Devils on the move. They get a lot of rebounds. Payne, a nice pass downstairs to Allen. Mike Payne got it off to Scott Allen. He got the basket down. Count the goal, and the foul is on Pete Weber.
An unusual break. Here we came with Bruce Douglas down that left side. Payne called for the ball in the middle, and then he dished it off. He really wasn't a true middleman, but he can make the passes.
Good-looking passer.
Very unselfish.
That's also the 4th foul on Pete Weber, and Scott Allen will shoot for Quincy. 57-30 with 32 seconds, and here's a shot missed, but Mike Payne grabbed it and snapped it in off the glass. That's 15 points for Michael Payne. All right, if you're watching at home, what would you do to combat Quincy? How would you try to play him? You better have some horses. No one's been able to do it all year to them, that is, beat them. Several teams have given them a pretty good battle, but they are an awesome basketball team. And Scott Allen wheels the ball to Dennis Douglas, who thunders to the goal, and it's tipped home by Bruce Douglas at the buzzer. And that is a Quincy lead of 61-30 at the end of 3 quarters. Now let's take time out for this message.
"17 on-the-farm field tests could tell you how to kill more corn rootworms this year. In field after field, 65% of farmers we tested got the same results. They switched from phosphates to Furidan. They got better root ratings and more dead worms. This season, switch back to Furidan, the only carbamate. Furidan, chemically, it's in a class by itself."
Tournament time is a good reminder that graduation is just around the corner. This year, why not give a gift of Zenith Sound? With over 7 systems to choose from, you can surely find the compact stereo system that's ideal for the graduate in your life. There are several models of Zenith component systems, too, of course featuring famous Zenith Allegro speakers. And how about this as a gift idea for the college-bound graduate in your life? An AM and FM clock radio from Home Service Stores, 9th and State, Quincy.
The Quincy Blue Devil cheerleaders say we're #1. And the media and the press and everyone that voted on it has agreed with that.
Who's to dispute it? You know, this ball game was virtually over in the first few minutes. They put on that press and they took the big lead, and that's been it.
That's right. That's been the whole factor. We'll have to wait a little later in the tournament to confer that greatness on them until we see some other dimensions of their game. But so far, it's impressive.
Michael Payne gets one to go home, and Quincy leads 63-30. Here in the 4th quarter, just underway. Antioch, previously this year, has lost to North Chicago, Barrington, Carpentersville, Crown, Freeport, and Loves Park. Some fine teams, and that's the only 5 games they've lost all year out of 28, this being their 29th. Shot doesn't go down, and Dennis Douglas comes up in the backcourt. He's going to stop and shoot outside. It's not good, and the rebound comes to John Ploss, who's back in the game for the Sequoias. Ploss goes at 6'8" and 210. Takes the post at a high post outside by the foul line. And Dee Maras wheels into the lane and slaps one off the board. That's going to go in, and it counts, and a nice play by Dee Maras. That's 10 points for Maras. Good-looking play.
Maras, a very strong player. He took it right to them. He made contact there and drew the foul.
He weighs 215. 63-32 is Quincy's advantage. There's 7:07 to go in this game. Crowd still big and still enthusiastic here at the Assembly Hall. It's free throws in by Maras. Check how many that is for him. 11. He had that many in the super sectional. Now it's 7-minute mark. Payne goes down low inside, and Richie Hawkins is outside. Now Bruce Douglas nearly pulled the trigger, then held on. In the lane, Dennis Douglas flips it up and is fouled. It should be a 2-shot violation, and the foul is on 21, Gordon Nasbenny, 6'1" junior. He is 140 pounds, 16 years old. There's a look at him. Nasbenny. for Antioch as Dennis Douglas goes to the line.
Have either of you seen a game at Quincy High School?
Yes, I've been.
Isn't that something to see? They turn out the lights, the Blue Devil comes out, the fans are standing and screaming and cheering. It is really something to see. And we were talking the other day with some coaches, Dick and Frank, about why they're such a good team. Well, they start, there's one high school there virtually, and they start them in about the 3rd grade. They've got that program all the way up, and the goal is to play on this team.
And play they do at 65-33. There's 2,607 students at Quincy High School, as opposed to 1,786 at Antioch. The shot too long by the Sequoias, and a foul on the rebound. It looks like it's on Nasbenny of Antioch.
And it's not the only game in town either. Of course, Quincy College has been very good over the years, and recent years with Cheryl Hanks, the coach, and then the Notre Dame of Quincy has been very good too in the last couple of years.
And in Class A, we had Liberty here last weekend, and Liberty is just about 15 miles or so for Quincy, and they, of course, had that basketball fever too. Here's Richie Hawkins' foul shot in.
Country Company's Insurance and its nearly 1,000 agents here in Illinois are happy to be a part of this telecast, and we hope that you're enjoying the action.
For Antioch, 33, Marshall Olson comes back into the game, 5'11 senior. And now Richie Hawkins has another. He missed that, and Antioch claims the board. 6:35 to go. Quincy has Antioch doubled at 66-33. Dee Maras. You can see how Antioch was successful this year. They've got several good ingredients. They've got a strong 6'8 center, a big, strong 6'6 forward. They move the ball crisply. They just ran into a powerhouse today that was on their game. Shot not good by Nasbenny. And here comes Dennis Douglas up the court, and he is fouled. And I think John Ploss is fouled out of this game.
Dennis Douglas is going to be a great player. Right now, he seems to force his moves. There's the shot off. It's been rebounded. He gets it himself, reacts off the rebound, brings it down. Instead of pushing ahead like most of them have been doing, he tries to dribble through that traffic. He did draw that 5th foul on Ploss.
And John Ploss just fouled out, had a wonderful year, averaged 16 points and 9 rebounds a game. He had 14 today. Reminds me a little bit physically of Jack Sikma when you see him.
Well, that's true. He's a little bit stronger at this point in his career, but a nice touch and very strong around that board.
A lot of people thought Sikma, when he played in the state tournament, was not all that great a prospect. They thought he might be a little too fragile to play, but he proved them wrong, did he not?
Indeed. Dennis Douglas shoots. There have been a lot of those kinds over the year that the so-called experts have been proved wrong, and you can't decide and give Quincy the state championship on this game either, because they've got to play at least 2 more, and one will be against Wheaton Central, and the other one probably another superb team from Chicago or suburban Chicago or Moline. So it's going to be now the roar you hear in the background as Maras shooting one in for Antioch. Is Quincy getting 5 players off their bench to report to the scorer's table. Dee Maras has had a solid game for Quincy. He has 13 points in the game. And he's their big guy now. The Ploss is fouled out. Douglas on the right. 5:35 to go in the game. Down low is Dennis Douglas for a turnaround. Look at him play volleyball down there. And a foul as Marshall Olson got the rebound. Richie Hawkins fouls out of the game, but he was coming out anyway.
Yeah, they're going to that board awfully well. You'll see this. They come in a wave of white people. They put it up there again, and then Hawkins coming down there was out of position, reached in across the corner.
For Quincy, 34. Checks in. That's John Lepper. Also in is Joel Myers, 3. Number 44 is Tim Houston's played quite a little bit. Number 10, Mark Sparrow, a 6'2 junior, is in the game. And number 14 is Dave Sandercock. Sandercock, a 5'8 senior, in for Quincy. For Antioch, on your picture there is Marshall Olson, 33, ready to shoot. 5:30 to go. Don't forget, we're on at 7 o'clock tonight on all these same stations. Here's the free throw, no good. Dee Maras rebounds, and there's another whistle. And it's a foul on Quincy again. It's on John Lepper. In the first game today. Wheaton Central eliminated Effingham. Here, Quincy has things its own way against Antioch. Here's Dee Maras shooting too long, and Hauseman rebounds. The Blue Devils of Jerry Leggett. His 5-year record, 126-19. Here's a shot, not good. You guys know what college Jerry Leggett graduated from?
What is this, Quist?
It's Beloit. On the right, Kessler going with the ball for Antioch. Looking inside for Maras. Kessler shoots outside. He got it down. 68-37. Nice looking shot by Kessler. He has 4. 4:54 to go. Quincy comes back on the right. Downstairs they go to Hauseman. Now back out to Sparrow. Sandercock goes inside. Oh, nice pass down low to Leppert, and a foul on Antioch. Gary Volling is in for Antioch, number 11, a 5'11 senior.
Here's Tim Hauseman going up for the shot, was blocked, so he curled it underneath to number 34, John Leppert. He was fouled. He was on the line. Foul number 4 on Kessler.
Kessler picked up the personal, and Lepper is 6'6½". He shoots 65% at the foul line. Handsome young man, 17-year-old senior. He made it, and the score is 69-37 Antioch with 4:41.
Frank, I think we should mention the job that the officials have done here this afternoon. I don't remember one play in either game where anybody disagreed with it. That's a pretty good indication they're doing a good job.
You know, when you don't notice the officials, I guess it's the only business in the world where silence is the highest accolade. On the right side with the ball is Antioch now. Between the circles, looking for help. Kessler. He eyes one up and shoots. It's too long, but a rebound comes in. Gaddy had it. Next shot rebounded by Mark Sparrow of Quincy. And the Blue Devils come up the court. They've got themselves a very comfortable lead in the ball. And Antioch has had themselves a brilliant season. Ran into a buzzsaw this afternoon in the Blue Devils. Sandercock downstairs to Leppert. And the ball goes out of bounds.
That was that same alley-oop pass, but it has a little different version when Payne's not at the receiving end.
Of course, Payne goes 6'10½" in the blue sky. Here's a shot short by Quincy, and the rebound comes to Dee Maras. Lepper had himself a free shot, didn't get it to go down. 3:49 to go, in the final quarter. Very interesting games coming up this evening. We're very anxious to watch some of the teams play that we haven't seen yet. Downstairs, inside, nice left-handed move by Antioch's Gary Volling. And there's Roger Andrews looking on, 69-39 with 3:27. Quincy has taken on some awfully good teams and done this to them. Here's the shot outside, no good. Look at Dee Maras, still battling hard on the board, and he got the rebound.
Yeah, he's got a bundle. I imagine he's got 12 or 13 rebounds in there.
Antioch gets the ball inside, now stolen by Quincy, and picked off. On the move, here comes Volling on the way. He traveled, going to the goal. Sandercock, 14, ended up with the ball. Right now, there's a timeout on the court with 3 minutes to go. Quincy leads by 30, and one of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance.
The Spirit's alive for all to see. The spirit of the country.
The spirit of the country. It's going out of your way. It's doing a little something extra. That's the spirit you live by. And at Country Companies Insurance, it's the spirit we do business by.
The spirit's alive for all to see. The spirit of the country companies.
This is KHQA-TV, Channel 7, Hannibal, Quincy.
If you've thought about home improvements for your place, now's the time to visit your friends in the Family Financial Center, Gem City Savings. We're equal housing lenders, and we're ready to help you. Want to change one or more rooms? Maybe you'd like extra insulation. Or how about adding that extra room? We'll help you with the best home improvement loan to suit your budget. In every office of Gem City Savings in Quincy, Macomb, or Cuba, Illinois.
3 minutes to go, has that big lead. And Jim, I think we have a couple of exciting games coming up for our fans tonight. Why don't you tell them about the matchups?
Well, tonight we'll be on the air at 7 o'clock. It'll be New Trier East with a record of 21-7 against Chicago Westinghouse. Kind of a surprise coming out of that tough public league up there with 20-10, followed by Proviso East and Moline. And should be 2 real good ball games.
One of those Chicago schools gave Quincy an overtime game and a 1-point win for Quincy over Chicago Phillips. Here's the ball loose on the floor, and let's see, I think Maras was fouled by Dave Sandercock, number 14. Now Quincy gets in 2 more players. Number 4, Mark Kaufman, and number 5, Mark Foley come in. Kaufman is a 6-foot junior. Foley is a 6'1" sophomore. Jerry Leggett is a very satisfied man this afternoon. Maras shoots it through. Did you hear the chords? 69-40, Blue Devils. Maras, 13 and an 18.5 average. Had a pair. He's been a good player again today for Antioch. Quincy comes up in the backcourt now. Sandercock is playing point guard. Joel Myers on a left wing. The ball goes down inside, and here is a whistle on a foul on Antioch. Like Gary Volling picked up the personal. Roger Andrews, 19 years at Antioch, 324 victories and 182 losses. Pretty impressive record. Free throw is in by Mark Sparrow. And he has scored in the state tournament. Quincy 70-41. They won 72-44 in their super sectional game against another good basketball team. He made them both, Sparrow, and a 30-point Quincy lead. V-O-L-L-I-N-G, Volling with the ball. You've heard him name pronounced 2 different ways. We were told Volling. All right, 32 is Mike Goffrin, and there's a shot up and down, back in the basket by number 11, Gary Volling. Gary Volling, okay. And now coming down is Quincy, 71-43. There's 2:05 to go in this one. And Quincy with an awesome display right off the top. Their press, they had the ball down on their end a long time, as you look there at Quincy with the ball.
Well, Antioch has never gotten into their pattern, into their slow, deliberate tempo control.
Shot is not good by Sandercock, but the rebound is up and a foul. Mark Sparrow came up with the rebound, and he was fouled by Antioch. There's Jerry Leggett still doing some coaching.
Dick Campbell, do you think Wheaton Central is going to be able to hold the ball and do this pattern offense type thing they did in the first game against Quincy?
Well, the key will be that they can handle the ball up the court, bring it up against the press. I think they can, but the press looks so devastating today. We'll have to wait and see. That'd be the key. If they get up the court, then they can pull that 1-2-2 zone out a little bit.
Mark Sparrow hits them. Guy Aberholden in for the Sequoias, along with Mike Goffrin. Aberholden, a 5'11 senior, Goffrin, a 5'8 junior. Now Antioch comes down with the ball. They've got Dennis Carta, 53, a 6'1 junior on the right, getting into the tournament. Maras is still the center. He just got one in off the glass. Dee Maras. You see, now he's got 17 in the game, a minute and a half to go, 73-45. Very similar score to the super sectional Quincy played in. There's a pass getting away from Quincy and out of bounds with 1:21 to go. Well, it'd be a very difficult thing to pick a favorite in that lower bracket.
Well, I think that's right. There are going to be some close games down there, and we'll have to see how they're playing on this particular day. I think a Proviso East could very well be the favorite team, though.
They probably are, as they were ranked number 5 in the state, I think, in the AP, and certainly in the top 10 in everybody's polls.
They've got an exciting style of play. I think the fans are going to enjoy their quickness. They're excellent shooters, also good passers. They press extremely well in the full court. We're going to see some interesting basketball from them.
They get up and down the court. Westinghouse probably does too, don't they?
Yeah, Westinghouse changes tempo too, but they've got some size. They've got better size than Proviso does. A couple big players around that hoop.
Here's a free throw up and in by Maras. That's his 18th. You know, we're going to see not only seen some fine basketball players today, but we're going to see a lot of good ones again tonight. Some individuals.
For Proviso East, you're going to see Ernest Hubbard, and we're going to see Justin Monaghan, two very fine players out of the West Suburban Conference.
Well, Hubbard really scores a lot of points. Now Dee Maras is going to go out for Antioch, and the senior has had a wonderful career. He had 19 points today, and there's a handshake and a hug for Roger Andrews, a very deserved young man. Number 21, Gordon Nasbenny, came in for him, a junior. Here's Quincy taking a shot, not good, and the rebound comes down to Antioch. Antioch Sequoias are going to close their season at 23-6, and they are among the 8 that came to the Assembly Hall in AA. Now the foul on Quincy, and it's on Mark Foley, number 5.
Frank, we've been asked to announce that Antioch Community High School made this announcement. Plans are to meet the team bus at 2:30 p.m. on Sunday at the intersection of Route 45 and Route 132. The emergency vehicles from Antioch and Lake Villa will lead the bus in the procession to Lindenhurst, Lake Villa, and Antioch, then end up at the high school. They'll have a pep rally honoring the team at the North Gym at 3:30 on Sunday.
Free throw bowling is good. He has another. And he missed that one. Rebound by Quincy. 50 seconds now left in this game. 73-48 is the Blue Devil lead, clearing their way into the front court. Now a fake by Quincy, and they step inside for a shot that is not good. The shot was by Mark Kaufman, and the foul is called on Kaufman. Now there's something down here, one of the players scooping up off the court that looked like a lipstick container or something thrown out on the floor. Now we're cleaned up and ready to go. Antioch with 35 seconds in the basketball. The Quincy Blue Devils will be 31-0. Hey, nice left-handed move by Gary Volling, and he got it in. He's got 7 points in the reserve role. The senior going out with a fine effort here.
If you're sitting there on the bench, you figure, gosh, if we can get into the 50s, it'll look a little better than 48.
And that they did at 73-50. As Quincy has the basketball, and they're going to try to score 2 more.
How many minutes do you think Michael Payne has played in this game?
Well, half the ball game.
About 16. Half, I would guess.
Yeah, I would guess that's about right. Certainly not any more than that. Here's a shot out of the corner. Nicely done, Joel Myers. 10 seconds, 75-50. Here's a bad pass by Antioch. Quincy's going to have one more shot if they can get down there in 7 seconds and take it to close this thing out and move on to the semifinals tomorrow. And Quincy will be looking at a very well-coached and very fine Wheaton Central team. Shot outside by Quincy, no good. Antioch rebounds, and that's the end of the second quarterfinal game as the Blue Devils win over the Sequoias by the final score of 75-50.